starting point. Oh, wait, is it streaming just started? I think we're live.
Oh, okay. Yeah, this new. Okay, here we.
Yeah, yep, we're good. Sure. We're live.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the FearFans podcast. I'm your host, Don Elmy. With me is Nick and Joe. And we've had some technical issues. So we're had to use a different service for
we're no longer using StreamYard like we used to because they have doubled their prices up, and we're currently trying to find a new platform that we're going to use. We used Joe. I know you said you haven't had a problem. We tried using EveMux before, but unfortunately, it wasn't working well for us. So this time we're using OneStream. We're going to try that for a month. We're still kind of playing around with it, so it's still kind of new for us. Actually, I did have a question, Don, before we get started on what you're going to talk about. Do you see comments right now, like from your side?
Now I do. Now I just had to open up on my iPad. Oh, wait, hang on. It says connect chat, but no, it's not showing. Not on.
Okay, yeah. So that's the other thing too. Unfortunately,
now it is.
It is.
Wait, now it is.
So you can see comments now.
Yep, I do.
Okay, yeah, because the last time that we were using it, we couldn't see people's comments. We had to go through like Facebook. So, but can you share them on the screen too, or?
Well, let's try it. Yep.
Oh, yeah, you can. Okay, good.
Yep. How's it going, Santi? Hey, Santi. Hey, Thomas.
It's going to be up to you for comments too, because unfortunately, I guess Joe probably the same thing. I can't see them, unfortunately.
I can't see any comments.
Yeah, so I won't be. So I'm going to have to just go to one destination to really respond to people. Like if you miss any comments, Don.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we're still playing around, so you guys are going to have to bear with us with comments or whatever. So if we don't respond to comments, it's not that we're intentionally ignoring anybody. It's just we're still getting used to this new program.
Right. Yeah. So tonight we are covering something that several people have been wanting me to cover for a little while, and it's the original 1992 Candyman. Yeah, 1992, the year I was born.
And the year before I was born.
Mm-hmm.
Candyman.
Yeah. Oh, hey, Angelo is joining. Hey, how's it going, Angelo?
Which Angelo is this?
Angelo.
Oh, Angelo. I'm sorry. I thought for a second it was like, wait a minute, my sister's watching?
No. Oh, yeah, we're doing all right. We're just trying to adjust to this new stream service that we're using. Let's see.
Nikki was in the chat from your personal profile, Don. So I don't know if you see that too. I
couldn't see it on here. It won't show that. Let's see. Third best. Oh, Billy Mount is saying it's the third best Clive Barker movie alongside with Hellraiser and Nightbreed. Yes, Hellraiser was good. Yes. Oh, you were born in 95? Oh, sweet.
That was the same year my brother was born.
Nice. Yeah, so Candyman. What's not to love about this other than taking place in Chicago?
Yeah, hot shot in our home city.
Yeah, right.
Does Cabrini Green actually exist in Chicago?
Yes, it did. And that was a rough area back in the Cabrini Green no longer exists, but at the time it was a pretty big ordeal for Chicago back in the late 80s and 90s. Mm-hmm. A lot of gang activity.
Oh yeah, not to mention the building was not exactly in tip-top shape. You know, it was poorly managed. It had some structural issues. In fact, it's not even there anymore. They tore it down back in 2011. Yeah,
they got rid of it because of all the gang activity. And this actually does correspond with what we're going to talk about with Candyman. This was an area where you had a lot of the African-American population lived. And unfortunately, a lot of them couldn't get jobs. They did turn to gang life. A lot of them are people who lived there were single mothers that had kids because many of their husbands and boyfriends were involved in the gangs. And you know, it wasn't just that era. It actually started back in the early 70s. Now, these buildings were originally built back in the 40s to begin with. And originally it was for lower class Italian families. But with the onslaught of or what was happening at the time, the so-called Great Migration, where a lot of African Americans moved north, including Chicago, to escape the harshness of the South, they started moving into Cabrini Green and became a more Black-related community. And what you see in Candyman is kind of part of what a lot of the difficulties a lot of these people were going through at that time.
Yeah, in fact, there were several several of those individuals that you see in the film, like where they go to that building, that complex. The gang members you see, some of them were actual gang members in real life, and the studio actually had to pay them off to keep them from causing trouble.
Yeah. And not only that, there's also a building that I found out that really was a gang hotspot. It was in the 80s. I can't remember her name, our Chicago mayor that we had. She actually stayed in Cabrini Green for a short period to try to fix, try to really sort out this entire, gang activity that was going on. And here's the craziest part was that when the mayor was staying at that time, there was nothing that happened. There was no gang shootings. There was no fighting. It was utopia. But unfortunately, she was only there temporarily. And then she moved back to her original home and gave the building back. And that inspired the gang members to do something that you could actually see in the background of the film was while she was staying, she had like an iron door that was like bolted and to keep, any type of gang members from trying to break into her into her area. Well, the gang members took that inspiration and used it for them. The buildings that you see in the building became known as the fort practically because like what you see again in some way, shape, or form. So now how this building worked, as you see in the background, is that they would go out to the streets and sell drugs. And when the police would arrive, when they came around the corner, they'd walk into the building, close the door, and walk away. And there was nothing that they could do because they couldn't sneak out the back. So it's probably Candyman, not just for being a horror film, but just really goes to show how much problems in that part of Chicago we had at the time. Probably the most perfect example.
Yes, there definitely was a commentary about how marginalized people were being treated in like the inner city.
It was really bad. And, even those that were trying to request help from that period, like assistance to try to get more money to support their kids, they would say, we will give you a plan to help out, give you a few months, but, whatever the case is. But for some reason, they say the father can't be in the home. And they would send out the social workers to check. And he was usually never there because he never would know when the social workers were going to come. And then at the end, he just wasn't there at all. So it shows again, it's not just a movie you see when you look at it, it's reality too.
Yes, this movie does depict a very grim reality of what can go on in like the inner city of Chicago. Like I remember near the beginning where Helen and Bernadette were discussing, like trying to feel about the area that they were going to investigate Candyman. Bernadette was saying Bernadette was saying that she didn't want to like that area because a boy got shot there the other day, and then Helen said that's every day.
Very much so. That was on the news back in the day too. There was a lot of shootings.
Still is.
And even in fact again, throw a quick sample. In actually 1970, there were 2 police officers that were shot and killed. They were trying to help out with the community, and they were just shot, just completely, out of nowhere. So,
well, I know it must be a little bit safer because when I was driving around in the early 80s and stuff, I went to Chicago at least 3 or 4 times. And I was right in downtown Chicago, and we were at a stop and go light, and this car came up out of nowhere and just rammed the guy right into the cement wall of a building.
Oh, there's Chris. I was going to say, Don, yeah, Chris is trying to come on.
Oh, here we go.
And
hey, Chris.
Aside from the roads being off twisted and turning you around and one-way streets going the wrong way, it's gotten better as far as that, because the last few times I've been in those areas, I've never seen the stuff I saw back in the 80s.
Yeah. How you doing, Chris?
His mic is off.
I can't hear you for some reason. I mean, we could see you, but we can't hear you.
He forgets to turn his mic on?
No, I think he's saying his mic is on. It's just not working.
Huh. Yeah, like, and we've been having technical issues with this thing from day one.
Yeah, I know.
Now,
and also, Don, do you see people in the Facebook chat too? Because Joanne, Stewart, and Nikki are in the Facebook chat. Do you see that from your end?
Are they? No, I don't.
Okay, I'm gonna have to...
for some reason it's not displaying Facebook comments.
All right, I'll just have to put them on my side just so I can keep an eye on them.
Okay. All right. I hear an echo. Is it Chris? Is that from you?
Can you hear now?
Oh, yeah. Now we can hear you. Yeah, but unfortunately, there's kind of an echo.
Yeah,
it was doing on my headset and my mic.
Oh,
okay.
Okay, yeah. I'm just hoping that echo's gone. No, it's not.
Is it?
No, it's not.
Yeah, there's still an echo, unfortunately. Here, try to go out and come back in.
Here, let me back out. I'll just leave.
Yeah, and then come back in afterwards. See if that makes a change.
Okay, yeah, hopefully. Oh, okay, the echo's gone now. Oh, here, let's ask. Here, I see Braxton's comment. This thing, I can't click any of the comments here. This thing is ridiculous. That's already happened to my demographic, being government welfare around the mid-60s or 70s. Oh yeah, it was rough here in Chicago as well.
Yeah, like he says, mid-60s. I mean, obviously, I was during the civil rights movement, and also again during the time when the Great Migration, where a lot of African American families were moving up to the north, and Chicago was no exception. It was a big spot for a lot of them, again, to escape the harshness of segregation in the South at that time.
That's right. Yeah, we were just discussing earlier, Braxton, about that living structure that Candyman took place in. I keep forgetting the name of it. Cabrini Green. That's right.
Yeah,
which is no longer there. It's
most of the buildings are torn down now, and they actually thought at the time by tearing down the buildings, it would stop a lot of the gang activity. In a way, it did have. I was going to say, in a way, that's maybe some kind of profound effect because they were no longer doing it in that area. But that didn't stop the gang members from doing it. It's just basically releasing them to other areas of the city.
Right. Yeah, like you tear down a building, they're just going to find somewhere else.
At the time, too, believe it or not, one of the most notorious gangs that was running was actually known as the Gangster Disciples, and that's probably some of the gang members you see in the movie. And it was ran by a guy by the name of Larry Hoover, who's now incarcerated to this day at the ADX Supermax in Florence, Colorado. And they say, not since the days of Al Capone have we had a gang member who had so much power throughout the city of Chicago, not just Cabrini Green, but just almost the entire city. He had almost as much power as Al Capone did.
That's true. Chicago and NYC are the main spots. Yep, that's absolutely right.
Correct.
Yeah. And so I should mention this film was based on a novella written by Clive Barker. One of the biggest. He was, he's English horror writer. He's do we ever got someone new?
Echo joined us. Oh, I wonder if that's Sydney and Victoria.
Let's try.
Oh no, it's Chris. Oh wait, okay. I thought it was Sydney.
Okay.
Now you're good. You're good.
Let's see. I'm not hearing that echo anymore.
That's what I said.
Yeah.
I did it in another browser instead of a Firefox. I don't know.
Oh, yeah. I don't trust Firefox.
Yeah, it might be the browser you were using.
Could be.
Yeah.
But, so this was based on a story that was written by Clive Barker, horror novelist who wrote this into a compilation of stories called Books of Blood, and where he also wrote Rawhead Rex and Midnight Meat Train.
That's one of my favorites, speaking of which.
Oh, yeah. And, like some of you, I'm guessing you haven't heard of Rawhead Rex.
I have not.
Oh, yeah. It's like one of his lesser-known tales. Wait, here, let me just grab my phone here. Hang on one second.
Has there been a movie made on that too, Don?
Yes. Hang on. It's like one of his lesser known stories, but I gotta say the monster itself is, some people call it scary, some people call it silly. Hang on, let me just get a picture of it. Rawhead Rex. Apparently, in the story, I never read the story. I want to one day, but I actually heard that the story that Rawhead Rex was depicted as like a phallic-looking monster.
That's interesting.
Yeah, but in the movie, it's definitely not that. He looks vicious as hell. Hang on, let's see. Oh, here.
So Candyman and Bruce related, since you both got to say their names.
You know what? It's funny you brought that up because they were just made a few years between each other, 1988 and 1992. Oh,
That's
wow.
true. Oh, jeez.
Pretty incredible.
Oh, rest in peace, Clive Barker. I don't think Clive Barker is dead.
I don't think Clive Barker's dead, is he?
I never heard any news about that.
I wouldn't. I'm looking that up right now.
How's it going? Very shootable. Gonna take a piece of your candy. Okay. Well, you're trick or treating. Okay.
He's not dead. He's still alive. In fact, he just had his birthday a couple weeks ago. He's 72 years old. He's still alive.
Oh, I didn't know he was 72.
Yeah, he's 72 years old.
Yes, Santi. This is the first one that we're covering from 1992. Yeah, Virginia Medicine, Tony Todd. I mean, do I need to say more Tony Todd? Yeah, that guy's
without that incredible voice he's got.
Oh yeah, he's got the voice for it. In fact, the very opening line that he says is just chilling, saying, "They will say that I have shed innocent blood, but what is blood for if not for shedding?"
Yeah. Real quick too, I just wanted to comment from another page. Terry's watching, so hello, Terry. Good to see you.
Hello.
Hi, Terry.
Yeah, so Tony Todd has really made a name for himself in horror. Like 2 years before this, he was also in that criminally underrated Night of the Living Dead remake, and which, if you haven't seen it, definitely see it.
Hello, Chris Garcia. Yeah, I'm trying to keep up with the comments from the other destinations.
Oh yeah, and most recently, Tony Todd was also the voice of Venom in the Spider-Man 2 game.
That's right.
Really?
Oh yeah. In fact, I have here. I have an example of it here. Here, trying to look for a good. I have found a compilation of his cutscenes. Let me just try to skip to a good one here. Give this here. Let me just.
Actually, I was going to say while you're doing that, another film series that he starred in. Not all of them, but just a few of them, though. Was he also starred in Final Destination?
Yes, he did. Bloodworth. Yes, he was Bloodworth in Final Destination. The mortician.
The mortician who seemed to have knowledge involving death.
Yeah, and here. Here.
We are healthy, strong. This is what you want.
Yep, that's definitely his voice.
Yeah.
If only bees would have flying out of his mouth.
Yeah, it's so chilling. I just love it. Love what he does with this. Just chilling, guttural. It's like, and apparently he's a big comic book fan, so this was right up his alley.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, him voicing Venom, that's some of the best casting for as far as voice acting in video games goes. That's just perfect.
That's legit.
Oh yeah, like when I almost about a year ago when I started doing the live stream series, my live stream series covering Spider-Man 2, I was expressing from the get-go how excited I was to hear Tony Todd's voice performance as Venom, and then hearing it, like the correct word doesn't even exist, to describe how amazing it is. Ever since then I've just praised it.
His voice is just, again, you just know it's him immediately as soon as you hear that wonderful voice he's got.
It's amazing.
Yeah, that we are Venom.
I'm going to be honest with you. I think he would have been perfect for this if he accepted the role. Remember, and this is something I'm hoping we could talk at some point on FearFans in the future, Don, a video game. Remember I told you about Bendy and the Ink Machine?
Yes.
if you have the new one that came out, Bendy and the Dark Revival, Bendy does have a voice, and I really thought for the most part, I thought it was him. It sounded like him, but I found out it was somebody else. But I thought to myself, oh man, if they had asked Tony Todd, he would have been so perfect for that role. It would have been, because if you think about it, again, not to go into the subject matter, but I'm just going to throw it out anyway. Remember, I know you haven't played the game yet, but remember I told you about Ink Demon Bendy? If you look at his appearance, his appearance, like his monster form, is based off of two monsters. Because you can't see his eyes, it's supposed to pay homage to the Xenomorph. But furthermore, because he has that inky look, he's also based off of Venom.
Yeah, kind of. I can kind of see that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah. Seriously, they depicted Venom better than. Oh man, I think back to Spider-Man 3, and man, this was way better.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the movie Spider-Man 3, not the game. I know it gets confusing. It gets confusing when they name. They have the same name in movies and games when they're not related.
Yeah, I know, really.
Yeah, but so the story of Candyman is where Helen is a college grad student in the University of Illinois in Chicago and is doing a thesis on urban legends. And the biggest urban legend there was the legend of Candyman, who, if you say his name 5 times, he appears in the mirror behind you and kills you.
Yeah, but you gotta say it in the mirror.
Yep.
The dog.
Like you could say, like we're safe right here. Candyman, 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 Candyman.
The mirror.
Well, I got my screen mirrored. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, and I'm just gonna say right now, Don. Now that you said that.
hey, I'm all. Hey, I mean, hey, I'm all for it. I would love to meet Tony Todd again.
Right?
I mean, seriously, he was absolutely amazing when I met him all those years ago.
We both met him, in fact.
Yes.
Yeah, we met him, and really nice guy to chat with. But I will tell you this, and I know I've said this before, Don, but Tony Todd, he is, as nice as he is, he's certainly quite an intimidating figure at the same time. He is so tall.
He is. I mean, he's 6'5".
I was going to say, I'm Joe, you've seen me, obviously. I'm pretty tall myself. I'm like 6'1", 6'2", but he towers over me.
Yeah, I'm trying to see if we can find that picture that we had back then.
I'll look for it.
Oh yeah, let me know when you find it, because I'm trying to scroll through and this thing's taking forever.
Yeah, I know. Well, and don't forget these were taken back in 2012, so it's been quite a long time since we've seen those pictures.
I don't think he'd be that intimidating to me, because I knew a black guy by the name of Tiny, and this guy was like 7'2".
Oh wow! Holy cow!
And he'd sit in this bar. It was a very small bar, and he'd sit there and play darts from the bar stool, sitting at the bar.
Wait, here, how do I?
Pretty good at it.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I found the picture.
Yeah, I found it. Wait, which picture did you find, on?
Wait, I can't hear you.
Which picture did you find?
The Tony Todd picture, and you're breaking up, Nick.
Oh, that's weird. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, I got up on my end.
I don't know what happened. I didn't do anything to the mic.
Oh. Okay, I don't know how to share. Here, I got. This is ridiculous. Here, let me just take.
When you said you had a picture of Tony, is it the picture of you, Don?
Yeah.
Okay, good, because I found the picture.
I just took a picture of the screen so I can show you guys. Here, this is ridiculous.
That's what you're going to have to do.
Yeah, because I don't know the live stream service, and I don't want to mess things up. But
whoa,
oh,
that was a few years ago.
Yeah, that was me 12 years ago. That's when I before the spiked hair. Yeah, back when I still had that soul patch. And if you didn't see on the shirt, WKU, I was a sophomore that year.
Western Techie?
Yep.
Yeah, hang on. Let me show you. Hang on a second. Yeah, let me show you mine that I got.
No, we saw Dawn's. No, I'm kidding.
Well, that's
Wow.
I know he's. That was okay. I gotta admit that was actually pretty funny. Yeah, here's my picture with him, and you can kind of see again, despite how tall I was, this was me and him this time. Hopefully, you guys can see it.
Yeah, pretty good. Yeah.
And yeah, I was younger. I was 19 years old, so I was a baby then. That was, in fact, actually, I'll just throw it out. That was, in fact, the same time that we also saw Svengoolie, and I got that picture with him, which later appeared on a show.
Oh, Nikki's still trying to get on, Nick. She's saying that it's...
I'm just messaging her right now.
Yeah, it said that her...
Okay,
yeah, it said the link is not working for her.
All right, I'm gonna see if I can try to see if wait, down. There is a, I don't know if you see it on your side. There is a share screen here. Did you click on that before? Yeah.
On the bottom, I have one.
Oh, geez, I forgot about the raise hand thing.
Oh, here, I found out how to share the screen.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Okay, so now we know how to do that.
Okay. Here, now let me share the screen so that you guys can get a better look at the here.
I'm going to see if I could try to get the invite sent to Nikki. That's a great picture.
Oh, yeah.
That's an awesome picture.
Yeah, I'll never forget that day. Okay.
That's cool.
Hopefully this will work.
I met him. I met several of the cast members from the Friday the 13th movies. I met Svengoolie, all sorts of people.
Yeah. We met. Best one. I just came back to the screen. There's just you. Yeah, there's all these tricks that are involved with share. There we go.
Okay, that was weird.
Yeah, I know. See, again, we're still getting used to it. But let's not forget, probably one of the best ones we saw that day, undoubtedly, was Linda Blair.
Oh, yes. Yeah, she's great. Yeah, she's awesome.
She was so nice to chat with. Oh. And that was when we had that guy, the Reaper, with us.
Oh, yeah.
Because he knows a lot of those celebrities. So it's not we were taking advantage of it, but he was nice enough to let us go see these guys. We didn't have to wait in line for it, and we got some phenomenal photos.
Awesome.
Nice.
Nick, okay, I just tried sending this out. Nikki said it's not letting her do anything. See, this is the problem with OneStream.
Yeah.
Did you send another link to her, Don, from your side?
Yeah, let me see if I can.
Yeah, try sending it from your end. Maybe that could work.
Yep, hang on. Configuring third-party stream. Oh, no, that's for configuring. Never mind, that's not. Yeah. I don't know why it's doing this. Okay. All right. So, yeah, like obviously one of the toughest things to film in this was like that conflict, that complex, because like over at Cabrini Green, because everybody was worried about the gang members, because like you said, like we said before, several of the extras that you see in the movie in those scenes were actual gang members, so the studio had to pay them off to say, be like, okay, we'll feature you guys in this movie as long as you don't cause any problems for the production. But then every once in a while they found a bullet hole in one or two pieces of equipment. So yeah,
this was when Larry Hoover, again, the one who really had the stronghold. This was when he had complete control over Cabrini Green. So a lot of the gangs were doing this like under his command. And what's funny, I'll just say this, is that Larry Hoover was already in prison at that time. He was in prison for a 1973 murder, but even then he was still in one of those prisons that he still had control out in the streets. So a lot of what you see was what was carried out from Larry Hoover. And Larry Hoover at that time was also trying to think that they were, because if you hear a gang like Gangster Disciples, they were also known as the GDs. But what he was telling everybody was it wasn't meant to be a gang. They were supposed to be a community group. GDs was originally supposed to stand for growth and development. Unfortunately, it was just a propaganda tool that they were using to try to fool a lot of people, and the gang violence continued through, for a good number of years until again, they finally tore down the building.
Equipment could have been drive-by because you also had Bloods and Crips down there too, as far as gangs are concerned.
Well, Latin Kings too, the biggest one of them all.
You had quite a few gangs down there, and they were always fighting over territory.
Yep, and Cabrini Green was no exception.
Right.
Oh, here.
Nikki just said, I don't know if you sent another link to her, but she said for some reason she has to pay to get in. I think, okay, this is getting really strange.
I think she was trying to log in instead of sign in as a guest, maybe.
Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, okay, because I know she had the login before too for StreamYard.
No,
so
all she has to do is just click the link that I left in the chat. That's it.
Well, she said it wasn't working on her end. Girl, yeah. I'm gonna tell you what I'm gonna. Okay, I'll tell you what I'm gonna do. I got one last idea. Don, you carry on with the show. I'm gonna call Nikki myself. I got to mute myself in this case, but you carry on with the show. I'm gonna call Nikki.
Okay.
All right. Carry on, wayward son.
Yeah. So. Like several people in the comments have been asking me if I were going to cover like other Clive Barker based adaptations such as Midnight Meat Train or Hellraiser or Nightbreed, and I will consider it.
I would love to cover Hellraisers.
Yes,
those are next to Candyman. Those are my favorite. I've seen the first three the three Candyman that Clive Barker was involved in, and then I've seen the first three Hellraisers.
Oh, nice.
Big fan of those movies.
Yeah, but the newer Hellraiser movie is just ugh. Man.
Well, I stopped watching after the third one. I mean, what the hell? They go to space? Come on.
Oh, here we got some guests. Here, Nick, we got some guests.
Hello. Hey guys.
Hi.
Hi. Yes.
You got a ghost behind you guys.
What?
It's getting
I didn't see anything. We've been hearing knocking, voices. We definitely heard voices. Something has been hitting my hat when I was wearing my hat. So we are at a Ghouls Night Out. We are celebrating with spirits.
Spirits.
Where are you from?
I'm sorry?
Where are you streaming from?
We are in an undisclosed location in Texas. We can't say because of contractual things.
In Texas.
All good.
Yeah.
But regardless, welcome.
Thank you. And
also happy birthday, Vega.
Thank you. We are celebrating, so here we go.
Yes.
Medicinal use only.
There
you go. We are in an old roadhouse, or is that what they call it? Stagecoach house, which half of it has been cleaned up and the other half of it is just raw. And it's a lot of crazy stuff going on. There's a lot of full body apparitions, knocking, voices, bloodstains on the wall. Bloodstains on the floor. I'm sorry. But I have an old Sony bidirectional recorder, so we were listening to it, because you can hear everything in real time, and you could hear whispers all around us, knocking. Somebody was tapping on my hat. It was just
man.
Yeah.
Well, today we're covering a supernatural horror film. Yeah, Candyman. This is definitely a big cult classic.
I just wanted to pop on real quick because I wanted to tell you about my book, My Night in the Most Haunted Hotel in Texas. In case.
Nice.
And my other book, a paranormal activity book. Because, we have a lot of downtime, like when we're waiting for stuff to go on. I'm not saying things started happening when we started drinking the tequila, but the ovulus started talking. Some started talking. Yeah. Things were happening. So, it was.
What's up, Victoria and Sydney? Sorry, I was on the phone. I'm trying to help Nikki try to get on. So it's good to finally see you guys. And Sydney, I think this is the first time we actually are meeting face to face.
Yes, it is.
I love my Sydney.
Like after
How
4
does it?
years since we've known each other, I think.
Yeah, it's been 4 years. Yeah.
I
Yeah,
finally got to meet Nick, and women stop me on the street and say, "Do you know Nick Millay?" And I'm like, "Well, yeah. I finally got to meet him. Like, is
Yeah,
he as
Michigan
cool as he
Paracon.
looks?" Yeah, and it's like it's the jacket. It's a bait magnet.
Jacket. Yep.
It is nice. It's very nice. So,
Yes.
Happy birthday, by the way, Victoria.
thank you. I'm 27 finally.
Finally 27.
You're 10 years older than Nick. That's cool.
I think my shirt is 10 years older than Nick. I don't know.
That don't take much.
Yeah. But thank you for letting us pop in. And I think, who was I talking to earlier? I went to the original Candyman's execution. Was it one of you guys?
Oh, yeah, you were talking to one of us. I believe it was me. Yeah, like there was a bit of a mix up. Oh, I thought you were talking about like you were seeing the movie Candyman, and I'm just like, wait, what?
I don't want to say I was texting and driving.
Okay.
Yeah.
But you're
That might have been.
No.
So, but tonight we're covering Candyman. You know, we were just discussing Tony Todd. You know, brilliant actor.
Amazing actor.
He is,
I
and we
haven't
met him.
seen the movie.
He did
Really?
Dark Side Boys, too.
Oh,
You know,
yes,
one of the things they're doing out here. I'm sorry to interrupt. I don't know exactly what day it is, but they're opening up the house that was in the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. It's just outside of Austin,
Yeah.
and you can go.
Wow, that would be awesome.
Yeah, so don't need to come for that.
And what's
Come on,
funny,
Nick,
I'll
let's
just
go. Joe?
I'll
Don?
throw it out too. Yep, here's that picture. Yeah, that's where we met him.
Nice.
And
I love
nice.
that guy.
He is a tall guy. He's huge.
He is
I was
6'5".
telling Nick earlier that the new Candyman movie does the old one zero justice.
That'd
Is he
be quite
married?
a drive, though.
I'm just
No, yeah,
asking for a friend.
Yeah,
I
nothing
haven't
beats the
even seen the
original.
new one.
Is he asking for a friend?
Yeah,
Asking for one of the girls in the back.
What girls? It's just us.
But speaking of girls in the back, well, that was a bad segue.
That was a very bad segue.
Whoa.
I wanted to tell you real quick about my newest venture. Nick saw it. I'm writing Bigfoot erotica. Okay.
Oh.
So
if you're the hairy man, we got you covered.
it's a trilogy.
Yeah.
Nick, you're
I
blushing.
forgot to tell you that, Don. I forgot to. That was my mistake.
Okay.
He got caught off guard.
Yeah.
Oh,
Those girls
So-
from Texas.
Texas, it would be 17 hours for me.
Wow.
It took me almost that long to get. I live near Fort Worth, and it was a 3.5-hour trip, and it took me 5 hours to
5
get
hours
here.
to get here.
Oh man.
Yeah.
It's
That's,
combine season,
Well,
so
that's just
they're
to
all
get
out.
to the most northern border of Texas.
Wow.
Way up there.
See, and I haven't even
Yeah.
been to Texas yet. I've been trying
Austin
to. Though.
is 6 hours from me.
So,
Oh, there's Nikki. Okay, now there she is.
so
Oh.
it would be a long drive from Wisconsin.
Yeah.
I drove up to Michigan for the Michigan Paracon, so yeah, that
Hey,
was a
Nikki.
hell of a long drive.
Nikki.
Hey, Nikki.
I was gonna go, but I just got back from Michigan just before that. I wasn't ready to go back again.
Yeah, it was nice while we visited, but that was a 3-day drive just from where I lived, just to get up there.
Well, I went there for 2
Did you see
days
that?
to see Eloise.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
went
nice.
to
Did you see any?
tour part of Eloise.
There's something behind us. I think we have our equipment back there too. So if you see anything go off, just let us know.
Sure thing.
So,
So
there's-
yeah, like, we wanted to bring up that Tony Todd, like one of the most challenging things for him in this movie, and I'm getting it. And Nick, I'm guessing you know what I'm about to say, right?
Yes.
Bees.
Yeah.
Bees!
Bees.
Yep, having to deal with the bees. I mean, the bees actually do make sense as far as Candyman because that's how Candyman died. You know, he was in the late 1800s. He was killed by a lynch mob after he got romantically involved with a daughter of a wealthy white person, and then and to kill they killed him by
Robitaille.
then they killed him by sticking a whole bunch of bees on him. And so now Candyman's spirit sometimes has bees involved. And there was one scene where, and there was a scene where Tony Todd actually had to have bees coming out of his mouth all over him,
Yeah.
and, like as he was kissing Helen. And apparently, like there was like this protective mouthpiece that he had to have, and about 200,000 bees were used for that one scene alone.
That is a lot of bees.
Well,
Yes,
and not only that, because people are thinking, well, didn't he ever get stung at all during that? Indeed, he did. Apparently,
he did get stung a lot.
He was stung at least about 23 times.
27.
And, 20. Oh, I saw on IMDb it said 23, but they said that supposedly, and just correct me if I'm wrong, Don, that every time he got stung, because obviously he's obviously getting injured while he's doing this, but he was supposedly paid $1,000 each time he was stung.
Yep. So with extra 27 grand he made for this movie. Yes, and they tried to use like very, very young bees, like because apparently like when bees are like less than a day old, they're less likely to sting. So they were pretty much using. So all those bees you saw in the movie were newborns.
Oh wow!
Just
They're
getting
just little
started.
babies, baby bees.
Oh,
Is it diapers?
just so you know, too, because Nikki had to use her computer to join, because that was the issue she was having. I mean, most of the time she does her stuff on her phone, but when you try using it on your phone, it shows up this other app of whatever about paying. So just told her she was better off using her computer for it.
That's the problem. Yeah, because I never use my phone for this. Yep.
I
Always
hear
the
somebody
MacBook.
walking around.
Always the MacBook.
I always got a desktop that I custom built.
I hear talking now.
Okay, it's starting to pick up here.
I heard that
So
too.
we are in a legitimate
Spirit?
What is going on?
I can hear somebody walking around behind us. Because we were going to go, we have some of our equipment on the other side.
In the doorway.
In the doorway, right? Yeah.
Oh, did you say his name 5
doorway
times?
going left and right.
We've been seeing
We've
shadow
been seeing
figures.
shadow figures since we got here.
Oh,
Yeah.
well,
I mean,
hey,
we're
you must have been saying his name 5 times.
Candyman, 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 Candyman.
I envy
Will you count if
you
I say it in
guys. I was
Spanish?
there for that.
Dulce man. Dulce hombre, hombre.
I used to work in Univision.
There you go. Those what starts speaking in Spanish. Esta noche.
It was listening about a telenovela. It's like, whoa, what's happening tonight?
Ricardo.
Nikki, there's this.
Order.
Yeah, Nick, I've noticed that there's this function in this.
Yeah, I'm just trying to fix the audio.
Yeah, there's these reactions now that you could add onto the stream. So, like raise hand, you click on that, so you hear that noise. It's a raise. I'm not sure what it's supposed to represent.
Maybe it represents that you want to speak. I don't know.
Yeah,
Maybe it
get rid of
represents like you raise your hand. It's like when you raise your hand at school, like this thing you want to speak.
Yeah.
Ooh, Mr. Carter. Oh wait, I just gave away my age.
This is legit.
Oh my God, they went to the other side.
I think this is legit.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
So,
I think we need to go because the activity's starting to pick
Yeah.
up. So
Okay.
if
Well,
you,
hey, thanks for coming
we
on.
can't tell you. Oh, thank you for having us. We can't tell you where we're at, but if you Google Seguin, Texas haunted hotel,
You'll find it.
okay.
we can't say where we're at.
Okay.
So we're gonna go
hopefully-
get these
yeah,
ghosties and
hopefully,
figure out what's
yeah.
going on.
If you guys ever
hey.
want to come back, obviously, the link's going to be open, for future shows.
Oh, okay,
Sounds good. Thank you.
awesome. And
Yeah, you guys have
tomorrow,
a great investigation.
Yeah, it was good to meet you.
Thank you so much.
You too.
It's good
Nice
meet
to find
you
you,
guys.
everybody. Tomorrow night, Edge of the Rabbit Hole, 7:00 Central.
Central.
We'll be
All right,
back.
cool.
Awesome.
Bye.
I'm going to
Love
tune
you
in.
all.
I love you guys.
Take care, Victoria,
Bye.
and happy birthday.
Thank you.
Happy
Thank you so much. It's great to
Happy
finally be
birthday.
27.
I know. Took you forever to be 27. All right, bye guys.
Bye.
Have a good night.
Bye. Have fun.
Have a good one.
Bye.
Right. Okay. Wow. They
What
seem
did you
great.
think, Don?
Yeah, they seem nice.
Yeah, like I said, I saw Victoria in Michigan at the Michigan Paracon, and she was nice enough. She even got to let me sit at her booth table, so that we got to chat. And again, I've known these two for quite a long time now, but when I met her at Michigan, that was the very first ever. I got to meet Victoria in person, but I have yet to have met Sydney in person. But hopefully, one of these days, I'll have the opportunity to go down and investigate with them down in Texas.
Oh, Oh,
they have, like you said,
here, Nick, I displayed
they
that
have
comment. Do you see it?
What's that?
I displayed a comment. Do you see it?
No.
Yeah, I can see.
No,
Here's the
you-
thing with these comments here. Unlike StreamYard, I kind of have to go. I have to really move forward to the screen. They're kind of a little bit hard to see from afar. Not
Yeah,
like
somewhat.
they were big and bold letters. This time, I really have to kind of move forward to see what's being read.
Yeah, I'm kind of having the same issue. But here, why don't I ask everybody this? When did you first see Candyman?
When it came
Yes.
out,
That was released on video.
Yesterday. Oh yeah,
saw
92, literally.
So you
When
saw
was
when
it-
it came out, Chris?
When was it released on video, like VHS?
Yeah, I must have seen it when I was like 13 or 14 years old, at the very
Same.
least.
Yeah,
Yeah.
same. I saw it when I was 14, and I watched it on this now defunct horror service called FearNet.
Oh, I miss FearNet so much.
I remember
That
those
was
days.
an awesome platform to use.
Oh yeah, I was shocked when I learned that it wasn't in service anymore.
I was heartbroken by it, to be honest. And I've also discovered that movie from two other websites that, I think probably back in the early 2000s they were a lot more popular. I don't know if anybody really uses them anymore, but there was a website that was called Dark Angel's Realm of Horrors. It was like an angel file. Website still exists, but I don't know if it gets very many visitors like used to. And what it simply just was at that time, this is where I discovered Candyman and many of the other classic horror films, it was basically kind of like a review site of somebody just talking about the movie, but also, talking about the, some plot lines of the movie, some trivia facts. They even would usually have the trailer or maybe a clip from that movie. We're talking before even YouTube, before it really took over. And what was fun about the website too was that they would have all the different theme songs of different horror movies play on the site. Like I said, the website still exists today, and it still does get updated. But the sad part is they don't have any of that music playing anymore. I even contacted the owner of saying, whatever happened to all that music you used to have that used to be on the site? He got rid of it because he said a lot of people said back in the day when it was more popular, some people, because again, this was before the days of YouTube, people sometimes would just leave the website on just so they could hear the music and not actually read the website. So he had to take that down. And most of those tracks that he had, which was kind of like a 8-bit type, sadly, a lot of those tracks no longer exist.
Yeah,
He basically been lost in time, sadly.
Yeah, but one of the major horror networks that we have now, as far as watching horror movies and shows, is Shudder.
Yes, Shudder.
Yeah, I am a proud I'm a proud customer of this. I love everything about it, all the shows, all the movies. Yeah, I still got to see this two on here that I'm interested in seeing: Late Night with the Devil and Daddy's Head.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah.
That one.
And I love how I can just watch all the episodes of Creepshow on here too.
Oh yes,
love it.
Trying to think. See, and the other thing, the other website that I remember I used to, again, I really learned a lot from these movies too, was a website. Again, I don't think it hasn't been updated in several years. I think it's not since 2009. There was a website also that was called the Flesh Farm, and the Flesh Farm. I don't know if did you ever remember that one, Don? The Flesh Farm.
I think so.
Yeah, the Flesh Farm.
Sounds like I used to visit.
That's not what you think. It's not what you think.
Oh my god!
It was intended for horror movies. Trust me. And it was again,
right.
They would talk about they would talk about the movie. They have the plot line. They give trivia facts, and they would even have this time they would have screenshots of from the movie itself, and also again a trailer, maybe a video clip. And it used to be such an awesome website. They even had something called a coroner's report, and the way how they would do it, the way how they do it is to more detail of how a particular person in a horror movie died, saying, okay, so this is based on the reports we had found this, we found that, dead, and a lot of times they usually would say on the end, dead on arrival. So it was just this fun site. Again, it still exists, but it hasn't been used for almost 15 years now.
Man.
Wow.
And oh, here I actually want to bring this up. I'm back to the bees that Tony Todd had to work with. There was like a crew that used the crew that used like all those bees. Everyone who wasn't on the screen was wearing bodysuits to protect themselves from the stings. And Tony Todd had to wear a protective mouthpiece, but it still took over a half hour for all the bees to be extracted from his mouth.
Yeah. He
Imagine,
said it took a couple hours just to get the bees in his mouth. That was not an easy process.
Oh, yeah. Definitely not.
You know, this was still at a time before CGI really took over. So try doing that today. Undoubtedly, CGI would be used.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's safer. No
oh, yeah. And as far as horror movies go, this is like one of those horror films where it's like, where it feels like the villain to some degree actually wins. You know what I mean? Yeah, because it's like, hey, like Helen was being victimized by Candyman. They like having her framed for the killings, and also, like all because he wanted her. I mean, one of the main reasons why he wanted her, I believe, is because she closely resembled the woman that he was in love with who he died for.
Like a reincarnation.
Kind of like that, yeah. Just like how in
kind of like a lot of the classic vampire movies.
Just like in Dracula, when Dracula was after Mina. Yeah, after Mina, yeah.
And, you know, another thing because that's another note to throw out with Candyman, too, is that Candyman, as brutal of a movie it is, I mean, it's got some pretty violent scenes. It does actually have, from what is often regarded as some of the most beautiful scenery, you know, even involving the Candyman himself and just the art. You know, the character Helen entering the mouth of the painting, the bees on the chest, they have such power to it. It's not just a film just like your typical slasher movie.
Yeah.
Like in addition to the real life problems we had here in Chicago at that time, the movie is also kind of also based on art.
Well, you kind of feel sorry for Candyman after a while too.
Yeah, when you learn more about when you learn more of his backstory, he actually does come off as a tragic villain.
Daniel Robitaille.
Yeah,
very much so. It's like, and so like, there's also kind of a combination of things. It's also kind of a tragic story, but like I said, it even has art in various degree.
Did you know that I was just looking up something? I was just curious. And as I was looking up, I found out that Virginia Madison Helen, was born in Chicago, Illinois.
She was.
Really?
And so that means her brother was also born in Chicago, Illinois, who is also a very famous actor.
Hey, Jeff's in the chat, and the Things Network chat. Hey, Jeff, aren't you coming on soon?
So that was kind of cool to find out. Both Mike Madison and Virginia Madison were born in Chicago, Illinois.
That's right.
So here's
Michael Madison. I remember him in, like Reservoir Dogs. Oh man, like Kill Bill.
She was also in.
She's been in a lot of things.
She's also been in The Haunting in Connecticut. And here's something else I should tell you guys. I don't think I ever told you, Don. I actually did have the opportunity of meeting Virginia Madison, and we were lucky enough. This was almost 10 years ago. We were lucky enough to have her at one of the Chicago Ghost conferences, and I got to talk to her for a few minutes. Got to get a picture with her. Really nice, and honestly, even at her age, even back then, she really didn't look that much different. She looked pretty much the same.
Yeah, she did age pretty well.
Yeah, well, some of them do. They have to take care of themselves and not get plastic surgery.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, in other words.
Oh, here, Santi's saying, sorry, I left because this new stream site is making comments that not done.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
again, we're still learning how to use this.
Yeah. But, like we're saying, Virginia Madsen.
Page looking.
Yeah, so Virginia Madsen was just incredible in this movie. She really did the part really well. Yeah. And, when her death was pretty tragic. She died saving the baby that Candyman had abducted, as like a bargain for her. But I mean, it's like she died in the like probably arguably the most painful way imaginable, burning alive.
Yeah.
Yeah, she died. She was
But
crawling
at
out.
the end,
She crawled out
I
of that
feel
fire.
she
Her.
got- okay.
I'm
No, go ahead,
sorry,
Joe. Go ahead.
At the end, though, I felt like she got her got her,
Jill.
innocence kind of
No.
justified because she died a hero.
She did.
Yep.
And by all those people from Cabrini Green showing up at her funeral.
And
Right.
throwing all those hooks in.
But
What's up, Jill?
the chilling thing was when they dropped the hook.
Right.
Hi.
Hey,
How you doing?
Hi, Joe.
Hi, Jill.
how's it going, Jill?
It's frozen.
My computer
Jim.
might be delayed, so
Oh, I got you.
Bit of
You look
How you
great,
been,
by the
Jill?
way, I gotta say.
Your house
Good.
has changed.
Yeah. So, how you been, Jill?
pretty good.
Yeah, same. So we're covering a real cult classic here, and some plastic surgery. Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, I believe Black Braxton's referring to how Helen looked and when she died, and also at her funeral. Yeah, especially they really couldn't. Didn't really seem like they'd put that much effort into her. Like after her hair had burned off.
Yeah.
Yeah. Billy's asking me what I think about the sequels. Original is better. Second one was meh. Third one was bad. I need to see the remake. I still got to see it. But
See, I
like
would only see for the sequels. Tony Todd was still good for his role for the two sequels. Don't get me wrong, but the rest of those movies, the actual movies themselves, were just not impressive.
not really, no.
That's like
And,
the only good part of those movies was his continued role as Candyman.
Yeah, didn't he do like the first three?
He
Yes.
did, and the remake or the new one. It's a reboot, not a remake. It's a reboot.
Oh, he was Candyman in that too.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I like it. I don't know. I can't speak.
I haven't seen it, so I don't know what to say about that one.
Do you own this movie on
never.
Blu-ray? I do not. I have a digital copy.
Have a DVD.
I have all three Candymans on Blu-ray.
Yep, that's true. It does follow in Halloween's footsteps. Yes, I meant like reboot instead of remake. That was my bad. I was trying to say reboot, but yeah, like that. Ever since the reboot of Halloween came out in 2018, lots of people wanted to follow that same kind of formula. You know, and Candyman was one of the earliest to do that. Yeah,
It reminds me of Bloody Mary.
It does.
Yeah.
It's
Excuse me.
Oh yeah, this movie's all about the terror of urban legends and why you probably shouldn't try to find the origins of them.
Very much.
Yeah.
But it also throws out something else too with this movie, because prior to Candyman, we've never really seen this with other slasher type movies. But as far as I know, Candyman was also probably one of the first, if not the first, slasher film where basically you can kind of say the killer was an African American. So basically the first black serial killer for a slasher movie. And that was another good take because it had not been done before in previous slashers.
That's true. You know, and Tony Todd was perfect for it.
Yep. No, he defined Candyman so that nobody else could do it.
Yeah, nobody else could be Candyman other than him.
No.
No one else. Seriously, he was
I
phenomenal.
agree with that.
And
Have to bring up actor. Come on, everyone knows.
Yeah, very much so.
definitely be the first ones that. Oh, okay, right.
We lost
Nikki. Yeah, I guess we lost reception. It's like, yeah, Braxton. That is true. Like there are a lot of horror films where the black person doesn't really make it, but that's not always the case. You know, that's not always true. There are some exceptions. Let's see.
House on Haunted Hill.
Yes, and let's see. Jeepers Creepers 2. As much as I hate talking about Jeepers Creepers.
Oh, she's back. And of course, let's not forget, most importantly, the most important of them all, Night of the Living Dead.
Yeah.
Even though he died, well, he dies in the end, but he survives the actual zombie ordeal, though.
Oh yeah, and Get Out. That's another one.
Get Out. That's another one.
Oh, and also The People Under the Stairs.
That's another. And also
that was a good movie. I remember that one.
Yeah.
Another one I just thought of. I mean, it's not that great of a movie, but it was still a good way to kind of put it into a different, even though there was also, in this case, a white girl also involved. Night of the Demons had a black college student. Yeah.
I've got it. John Carpenter's The Thing. Keith David survived.
That too, Keith David.
Yeah.
Well, we've had our share of, if you want to call them, black survivors in horror films.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like, yeah, a lot of people like tend to believe that that it's always the black people getting killed in horror films. Well, that's not always the case. I mean, I there are a few exceptions.
I think there might be one more. I'm just trying to think what the and actually, I'll throw it out too, Don. Let's not forget Deep Blue Sea.
Yes, that's right. Yes, LL Cool J.
Yeah.
And also he survived it in Halloween H2O.
Yeah, that as well.
Ladies love James.
Yep.
Yeah,
James.
yeah, that's right.
Oh yeah, and also I want to point out this one. Yeah, I want to point out this one character. The one character that I did not like in Candyman was Trevor.
Oh yeah, I remember him.
Yeah, I mean Helen's husband, who was having an affair with a college student.
Well, obviously, that was so obvious. Like when she first entered.
Yes,
Even
that's true.
Helen knew.
And
Hey, Jess.
and also when they showed her like near the end of the movie, like they had censored like her like in a certain area, even though she was clearly wearing a shirt in the movie. When I first saw that on what was it? I think it was AMC, and like they censored that, and I'm just like, why are they censoring her? She's clearly wearing a shirt. But then when I saw on like FearNet, the reason why they censored is because she wasn't wearing a bra, and I was just like, oh.
Yeah, no, really.
Oh.
Hey, Chanel. Chanel's watching too.
Oh, yeah, that was exposed, like see-through.
Chanel just brought up, I'm sorry, just to go back to this, all these different movies you were just talking about, Don. Chanel brought up another one. Blade was a huge, amazing black vampire.
Yes. Blade, yes, that's right.
Almost, yeah, I forgot about that one too.
Yes. Oh,
That's
yeah.
one of my favorite movies.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Blade's a good one. Oh, yeah, Busta Rhymes. I remember him. Yeah, I remember Halloween Resurrection. I watched that on AMC when I was 12.
Me too. You know, I was just thinking I know these aren't the best, but I just thought of two more. Of course, I got to just throw into, let's not forget the Leprechaun in the Hood movies.
Jesus Christ, don't.
Oh,
Yeah.
I mean, Billy, I do agree. The ending was. I believe the ending in the remake of Night of the Living Dead was better. It's like, is the remake of Night of the Living Dead superior? In some ways, yes, and in some ways, no. I mean, two of the biggest improvements were the zombie makeup effects; those were amazing, and also Patricia Tallman's depiction of Barbara as a strong female lead. Like that was a major improvement. Yeah,
I'm going to be back in just a second.
Oh, ice spiders. Oh, I remember seeing that years ago. I didn't really like that movie, but yes, you are right, Braxton. But yeah, and also what they did when Helen was wrongfully incarcerated. What Trevor and that girl did that. Yeah, like basically had her move in, even though it's only been a month. Move in, and like Helen escapes and comes back and sees that the whole place has been changing. And also, let's discuss that paint on the wall. That was ridiculous. Like, is that real paint, or they just splashed the walls with Pepto-Bismol?
That's what I wondered. I was wondering that too.
I think that was just trying to show you that she was much younger than the man, you know.
Nope.
And proving the point that she wasn't. She was still in her Barbie stages.
Yeah, I was gonna say she had to be at least 20 years younger.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, really. It's like
Is this made?
Yeah,
John?
1992.
Chicago.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh man,
she was just a student of his, so she couldn't have been more than maybe 21, 22.
Roughly.
You know?
But it was his thing, like that's how he met his wife. She was a student.
Yeah.
When he was her.
Yeah, it's like he's just always it's like he doesn't want to stay married. He just wants to be with someone who's younger. Yeah.
Like
it's
Leonardo DiCaprio.
Like it's like guys who cheat, I have no respect for whatsoever. None.
Yeah, no.
It's like, and also, then he finally feels guilt in the end, like after the funeral scene where Trevor's in the bathroom, he's like reflecting on Helen about the good times with her, and that just shows you that you don't know just how good you have something until it's gone. Yeah, and that is true. She ended up getting her revenge in the end. Yeah, what's the matter? What's the matter, Trevor? Scared or something? Oh man, that was a brutal.
Wasn't he like whimpering her name in the mirror in the bathroom?
He said her name 5 times in the mirror. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then after what was her name? Stacy, the new girlfriend. After she discovers Trevor's body screaming, and she's holding a knife like from the kitchen, and then it's like now the police are going to pin her for the murders, just like how Helen was pinned.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how I think how it ended.
Stacy,
What about Freddy Krueger? Since he's like Candyman, supernatural. Yeah, they're definitely supernatural killers that were back for revenge. But aside from Helen resembling Candyman's his love that he had back then before he died, he also was targeting Helen because Helen was pretty much disproving the Candyman's murder spree, fingering this one guy who had a hook had a hook, and they believed that he was doing all the killings. But Candyman did not like that, so that's why he came back. He was after Helen.
Yeah. Sorry, again. I know I haven't shown you guys yet. I'm going to wait till next week. I had to get the rest of my Halloween lights on for this occasion. I just realized there were a few that were still off, and I didn't turn them on yet. So now I did. And also some needed some new batteries.
Hey, worry about your lights later. We're on a show.
Hey, I gotta have this set up for the occasion.
Well, hey, I
also had to grab something else on the way. Hey, you got a few.
Whoa.
It was just you know what? Never mind.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, I really did not
stop.
Yeah, well, actually, no. I needed to grab something. I just needed to grab something to drink. I just needed some water.
I got you. I was just messing. But yeah, Nick, we were just talking about how much I hate the character Trevor. So
yeah, he was very unfaithful.
Yeah, I hate guys who are like that. And then he reflects in the end about Helen. It's like, oh, now that she's dead, you care.
What the hell was going on with that college student? Like when she first saw Helen, I couldn't tell if she was laughing or crying. Like, what was that all about?
So she was definitely crying.
Yeah, I understand that the least bit.
Yeah, yeah. Seriously, I would be upset too. And like not just because of the whole cheating affair, but also splashing the walls like pink, like Pepto-Bismol.
Like, what is this, a dollhouse now or whatever? What's going on?
She was still in her Barbie stage, like I said.
I was about to say, this isn't Barbie.
I did hear what you said, though, Joe. She was still like in her Barbie stages. Yeah, very
that
much
movie, though, had one part that I kind of hate watching just one part. I gotta kind of squint my eyes. Is when they find the dog with its head chopped off.
Oh yeah,
and that's because I like dogs more than I like most people.
Very much. Well, at the very least, at least we didn't actually see the dog getting killed.
No, but still, it was still a gruesome sight to behold.
It still was. Yeah, it still was. And Rottweilers are great dogs.
Yeah, they are.
Well, all dogs are great dogs. There's only bad owners, not bad dogs.
Oh yeah, that is true. I mean,
they're all about how they're raised.
That's right. Oh yeah, I love Rottweilers. I love German Shepherds. I love Dobermans, and let's see. Oh yeah, Golden Retrievers. Yeah, my aunt and uncle have.
Those are good hunting dogs.
They are.
I got a husky.
Nice.
Siberian husky.
I was gonna say we've heard him howl.
Heard her howl. She's a diva.
Oh yeah.
She's a diva.
She's spoiled rotten.
Wait,
You won't allow another dog in the house.
Wait, Joe, before you go, what were you saying? I mean, before you continue, what were you saying, Nikki? Oh, okay. She said she had to leave. So, yeah, I guess she must have been in a terrible rush.
Yeah, looks like it. But
anyway, I'm sorry, Joe. What were you saying though?
I was done.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah. But yeah, also one of those scenes that I had seen that pretty much nauseated me was where Helen was investigating Solo at that public restroom.
Yes.
Dirty.
That was pretty gross too.
It was, yeah. Because really, like one of my biggest pet peeves is public bathrooms, like when they're not being maintained properly. That scene made it worse for me. Oh,
definitely.
Yeah, because you see, where the difference is.
Excuse me.
Yeah. See, the thing is, I'm not disgusted by my bathroom because my bathroom, I'm the one who maintains it. I know whether it's clean or not.
Nikki just messaged me. Said she had to go. She has she had some kind of sore or something that she had to treat. So kind of an injury thing. So that's why she had to leave.
I see. Yeah. Yeah. See that. Yeah. That's why I don't trust a lot of public bathrooms because a lot of them are not well maintained.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. But
my bathroom at public parks like that.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
But with my bathroom, I know whether it's clean or not.
But actually, wasn't that like a grocery store that was in the parking lot of Cabrini Green or something?
There was a grocery store that existed. I don't know if it was that one, but there was one that did exist.
Yeah, but in the movie, they showed one like when the kid was talking.
See, and that's another representation of the difficult life, for those who lived at Cabrini Green. Those ones that were trying to actually make a living because, if you lived at Cabrini Green, if you lived in one of the especially upper apartments, you walked up the stairs with your groceries. You walked up with your children because the elevators were disconnected by the gang members or the gang members were using them to transport drugs. So they knew the elevators could not be trusted. So sometimes they had to walk up 10 stories of stairs to get to their floor. Which, you had all the groceries and kids. That had to be very, very difficult for these families, just trying to bring food on the table for their kids.
Think how poorly those things are made. And that's true. How she showed you exactly how poorly those buildings were made. You went into the bathroom, you took off the medicine cabinet, and you could pop out the other one.
They were designed like that.
And there was a building in Madison that reminded me a lot of Cabrini Green, right down to the grocery store in the parking lot, the little mini mart. And when you walked inside there and stuff like that, I mean, it wasn't in a bad neighborhood or anything. This was all elderly housing. But man, they were very piss poor the way they were made.
They were. Absolutely.
See, this was
and there's a lot of that.
See, here's the best way I should have said this earlier. Cabrini Green, in my opinion, when it existed, not prior and after when Candyman was released, it pretty much was the urban version of poverty. Practically, these people unfortunately were kind of living in poverty because, yes, they had jobs, but sometimes they didn't get paid enough to support, to keep a roof over their heads and support their kids. But unfortunately, a lot of these parents too, had to either work one or two jobs in order.
Well, that wasn't always with black families either.
That was the case with them. Well, because they weren't.
Because I've lived in that housing. I grew up in that housing. My mom was a single mom working two waitress jobs, trying to support two boys all by herself because my dad was a drunk and didn't pay child support.
Well, that's kind of
they didn't enforce it as much as they do now.
Well, and that's basically what a lot of these kids went through because, like I said, their moms are the ones that had to hold one or two jobs while their dads were either locked up or incarcerated or they were gang members themselves. And especially when these kids didn't have their parents home, a lot of them did turn to gang banging too, because that was their. In fact, there was a former gang member who said, "You don't have any role models every day. When you're around negativity every day, it's like a magnet almost. It comes to you." And these people, these gang members, give that. All gangs claim that they're families, so they would give this love and respect. And if you try to embrace somebody and really try to tell them that you really love and you care about them, of course they're going to follow you. And that's what a lot of these kids who lived in Cabrini Green ended up going into. They started joining these gangs. They started going in and out of jails and juvenile facilities. I mean, it was kind of a battleground at that time.
It was. That's right. Yeah, it was a run. I mean, I wouldn't know what things were like with it back in 1992, since I was actually, let me look at the exact date when Candyman was released, because I was born in April 27th, 1992, and let's see, the
September 11th.
Yep, and the date when Candyman was released was
September 11th.
Oh, September 11th, 1992. Oh, yep, here we go. Oh wait,
October 16th.
Oh no, October. Oh, it was September 11th in Canada at the film festival. Okay,
yeah.
It was released in early October at the Chicago International Film Festival, and then released in October 16th, 1992, in worldwide, United States.
See, and the other thing too about it should be noted, because again, I don't know if you knew this, Don. It was around the same time, and this involves Cabrini Green. I actually wonder how people in that area must have felt when that got released, because among the crimes that happened, during that period, tragically, there was I think either a 7 or 8 year old boy that was shot, while he was walking with his mother in Cabrini Green. He wasn't the intended target, but it was from the gang shootings. A guy in his early 30s was trying to shoot at a rival gang, and this mother and kid were in the way, and he didn't realize until it was too late. Fortunately, he turned himself in, but this was just a senseless killing. It was just a kid holding his mother's hand, walking to school. So I can't help but think, when you think of Candyman, this was the time after a kid was shot and killed in that area. It was a violent area at that time. Nobody was safe in that area.
Yeah, that's true. And even when the studio paid the gang members who were featured in the movie to not cause any trouble, they still did anyway by pulling bullets inside of some of the equipment from time to time.
Even law enforcement at that time even tried to negotiate with them. I mean, they even tried talking to them, saying, why all the fighting? Why you guys got to do this? And a lot of times they usually would say, well, we didn't ask for this to begin with. And well, that may be true to begin with. That still didn't mean that they were going to still do drug deals and stuff. So they really tried toning down the violence. They tried negotiating. And yeah, you had some spaces where there was nothing going on. But before you know it, soon gangs like the Gangster Disciples would just be drifting back, as most of these gangs would normally do. And I never even said, this is probably one of the oldest gangs we have in that area. They've been around since 1968. So at that period, during the course, not just throughout the 90s and late 80s, but throughout the course of the decades, they became a very violent gang.
Yep.
So I think, again, with Chicago, a movie like Candyman really shows the difficulties of a lot of people that were going through this kind of inner city poverty that was going on at the time.
That's right. Yeah, and some people are actually comparing, lately, some people were actually comparing Candyman to Beetlejuice, because you say their name multiple times.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Nick, we came across a video recently called Beetlejuice versus Candyman Rap Battle.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Well, and another thing too, I should throw out, because when we were talking also earlier about that, there were a few sequels that were made of Candyman, and each one, well, other than Tony Todd's performance, the sequels are not as good as the original. Originally, they wanted to make a fourth film, sometime during the early 2000s, but because of the success and popularity of Freddy versus Jason, they wanted to do a crossover with
Oh, you left.
Bye, Nick.
He disappeared.
Slide anyone, I guess.
I know exactly what he was going to bring up. Let's just wait for it to get back. It shouldn't take long.
So I saw that they originally wanted to cast Eddie Murphy in this role.
Yeah, they were. I think that was one of their original plans.
And he wanted too much money.
I think they were interested in having Sandra Bullock play Helen, but obviously that didn't come to pass. Let me see if I can get Nick back.
Who's Nick?
Don, I have a question.
Yes.
Are you able to put the comments on the corner of the screen? Because I don't see comments from it.
Yeah, I'm the only one here who can see.
Either.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, this is a whole different service.
Sure, because I've never used it before.
Yeah, neither have I. This is my first time ever doing a live stream with this.
Okay.
Sorry, laptop died.
Yeah, I keep telling you to plug it in. Look, mine is.
Didn't we do last week like this too?
Yeah. Seriously, Nick, plug your laptop in.
I've been
plug your laptop in. Plug your laptop in.
Well, anyways, what I was going to say though, I hope
see this plugged in.
Yeah, I know.
Always plugged in
Me too.
during a live stream.
I plugged in.
But anyways, what I was going to say was this crossover. What they wanted to do was they wanted to do a crossover with Candyman and Leprechaun, believe it or not.
They did.
They wanted to make it happen, but Tony Todd, when he was offered that role of doing a crossover of Candyman and Leprechaun, he was like, no, that is not going to happen, because he has too much profound respect for his character. And it's a character that needs to be taken seriously. He didn't want to be put into a movie where it was going to be a joke at that point and no one could take him seriously. So honestly, I definitely agree with him. I'm glad they never made that.
Well, if they were going to do a crossover, that's like the worst crossover.
Yeah, really.
I mean, you got to do something where he's like supernatural, right? Because, you got to say his name, you call him, and you're the only one that can see him. Everybody else doesn't see him, but they, can see if he's killing somebody, right? Then you got, say, Freddy Krueger, who only shows up in your sleep. Now, there would have been a good match.
Yes.
It would have been another good match too, and this would be perfect, because both these would be based on Clive Barker tales, as if they did maybe like a Candyman versus Hellraiser with the Cenobites.
Oh yeah, with like Pinhead or something.
Pinhead and the Cenobites, yeah.
Have you seen this?
See here. See again. Don Miramax tries to do a crossover with Halloween and Hellraiser since they have the rights for both.
See, that's stupid too.
Yeah, I can't see that either.
What I would see is Jason versus Michael.
Well, and here's another trivia fact too. If you guys didn't know this, and I just recently discovered,
they just need to bring back Celebrity Death Match and have the audience and have fans participate so that we can see what we want.
Well, actually, Joe, there actually is a series where they pit fictional characters between one another. It's a series on YouTube called Death Battle, and I've done some reaction videos on some of their episodes, including Jason versus Michael, but my reaction video got blocked from that. But they've done, let's see, Bane versus Venom. Bane, the Batman villain.
Yeah.
Yeah. And let's see. What's another one that I've reacted to? Oh yeah, Kratos versus Spawn.
Well, here's another. I don't know if you guys knew this, because I just discovered this yesterday, and this is involving the movie Freddy versus Jason. It turns out this guy by the name of Chase Dudley, who I'm friends with on Facebook, he really knows his horror film stuff. He says, we almost had Pinhead appear at the end of Freddy versus Jason, if you didn't know.
I've heard that.
Yeah, because but it says, however, the rights to his character was considered too costly, even if it was just like a small brief appearance, and they chose to exclude him. Had he been included, he would have appeared with Freddy and Jason fighting in hell.
That would have been a triple threat match, Joe.
I have a great idea for Thursday now.
This would have been kind of cool, actually.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah. If Pinhead in the center of that would have been cool.
I have an idea for Thursday, and you got to join Thursday because this will be fun, Nick. Is we sit around on the deck Thursday, and we talk about who versus who and who would win. On a,
okay.
Give them like a rating scale and say, argue, and then we all vote to see. Okay,
Jason.
I've got one. I've got one. Superman versus Goku.
Oh, nice one. Well, here's another one for you, Joe. Chris, this is right up your alley. Beavis versus Butthead. Damn it.
We can do that one on.
Or wait, Rick versus Morty.
We can do that on. Multiverse.
Well, the Rick versus Morty.
Yeah.
Not Beavis versus Butthead.
Yeah. Hey, Nick, they actually did do a death battle on Rick facing Doctor Who.
Oh, wow.
Or
I'd like to see that.
Hey,
you know what? You know what?
Hank Hill versus Hank Hill versus from I'm drawing a blank now. Homer. Yeah.
Well, we already have that crossover of what it was like for Peter Griffin
or Hank Hill. He's on. You got the guy from Family Guy, Peter. Versus
Peter versus Homer.
Yeah, they did do something.
Well, they already did that.
Yep. Comedian
versus outside the box.
Huh.
Like the comedian.
Yeah.
Great. They ought to try to do some crossover involving Family Guy's Ernie the Giant Chicken, but I'm trying to think who can he fight? We got the chicken that Peter fights all the time.
Let's see.
You know what I'm talking about, right?
Hank Hill should have to fight like Beavis and Butthead.
What about Bird Person?
By Mike Judge.
Bird Person versus Ernie the Giant Chicken. I think most likely Ernie would still lose, but he always comes back though.
Who's that?
You're in an
airplane
or something.
Not me.
What are you on a plane?
Yeah.
Jill?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think the worst thing they could have possibly done with the character, arguably worse than having him go against Leprechaun, was have Candyman in space.
Oh God, no! Don't
give him any ideas, Don.
Don't even remind us. What's wrong with you?
Oh.
More.
What would the slogan be for that? I'm wondering.
I don't know. Oh my God. Oh, okay. I'm just looking at the comment here quickly because I just went over to your chat, Don. Tom said Blade versus Twilight. Oh, that would just that's not even a battle in itself.
No, Twilight movies.
Go Blade, go.
Yeah, no.
That whole Cullen family would be wiped out.
Yeah.
Yep.
All the characters of Twilight would be so screwed if they ever crossed paths with Blade. He would destroy every single one of them.
Blade's a daywalker.
Yeah, he has that advantage. That's right.
Just remember that. If you got the advantage, you can be out in daylight.
Right.
So can they just sparkle and crap.
Candyman in space.
Blade.
Hey,
what did I tell you, Don? Look what she did.
Hey, Billy, I wasn't. Oh, please, I wasn't even being serious.
Well, you already said it. You can't. You already said it. You can't take it back.
I don't think they need to do any more with the Candyman franchise. You know,
that reminds me.
If they do something on an anniversary edition, just put some scenes in that was ended up on the cutting room floor. You know, they got deleted. You know, add some extra footage. Don't try to screw with it. Because, I mean, I like the first one. It's my favorite. The first one is my absolute favorite. But 2 and 3 weren't that bad.
Oh, here, I got just the thing. Hang on. They actually parody the whole concept of horror going into space. Hang on. There's this YouTube channel. There's a YouTube channel, Dead Meat. Here's where they were covering Critters 4, where it takes place in space, right? Mm-hmm. Hang on.
Critters in space.
The final frontier for all our franchises. Leprechaun, Pinhead, Jason, Turkey, even the fucking Amityville house for for some
What?
reason. So the
Oh,
question
come on.
is left.
That's right, fishes. In space, no one can hear you dream.
The Nightmare on Planet Elm Street. One small step for man, one giant step for mankind.
Ah, what a load of crap.
God.
You know, not every horror franchise needs to go to... you gotta be fucking kidding me.
Forgot about Becky.
Chuck Rogers.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, but they do make a good point. Not every horror franchise needs to take place in space. You're like,
Flynn the Muppets, pigs in space, starting it all.
yeah, that's how you know when someone's run out of ideas. When they just
Yeah,
have a movie with
very
it.
much so.
Yeah, and also, yeah, when DreamWorks runs out of ideas, don't be surprised if they make a crossover between, let's see, Shrek and Ice Age and all this other nonsense.
You know,
Back in space.
It could happen just till DreamWorks runs out of ideas. That'll be the last.
well, they're doing a lot of things they shouldn't be doing. I mean, I see Hollywood just as one big place that has no more imagination anymore. You know, all the sequels going the wrong direction, like you said, in space. You know, it gets to a point they're in the space. Oh, and don't get me started on the Hood. You know, on the Leprechaun.
Oh man.
We say ninja.
Yeah, just imagine, like here, when they run out of ideas, they're gonna have all these guys cross over.
Yep.
So,
One day it could happen.
and then remaking Winnie the Pooh into a horror movie.
Yep. I already have.
And what was the other one? There was
Bloody.
another one that was like that they did. Stupid.
They're doing Mickey
movie
Mouse
was
as a
that? I'm sorry.
horror.
They did.
Oh yeah, I knew that already.
What one?
I remember that one time Jeremy, Greg, and I were talking about that.
What one? I missed that.
New Winnie the Pooh and Mickey Mouse movies.
Oh yeah.
Mickey Mouse, yeah.
They're doing this with Bambi too now.
Oh God, no!
Yes, you didn't know about this, Nick? I did a reaction.
No,
video
I
on it.
didn't.
Well, I could see that. I could see that actually being kind of funny because
Yeah.
here's the deer getting revenge on the hunter.
That's right.
They did.
I believe that's what the premise is, and they're doing the same thing with, and they're also doing this with Peter Pan.
Oh,
That
God.
could be
Well,
fun.
They
you
did
know
it with
what?
Pinocchio.
Actually, I got to just say real quick because we were talking about this because I was helping out with Spooky Japan last night on this. We had a filmmaker that we were interviewing, Amanda and I, and we were talking about that movie for a short while. If you kind of think about it, it's kind of a darker movie than you think because they're actually saying Peter Pan really was kind of more of the villain more than you think. He was kind of the juvenile, and Captain Hook was kind of the good guy in a way. It's like so.
Yeah.
To make it into a horror movie is definitely not a surprise to me. I can definitely see that.
God, where was that Dead Meat Space? Oh, that skit. That was Critters 4 when they were covering that. Yeah, the lesser of the Critters franchise. You know, the only redeeming quality. Seriously, the only redeeming quality that the third one has is it's Leonardo DiCaprio's first film. Really, that's it.
Yep.
Yeah, it's got nothing else going for it. But so yeah, that'll be it for this edition of the FearFans podcast. Yeah, we still got to figure out how this whole stream service that we have, the new service here, we got to figure out how this works.
Yeah,
Don?
it's really.
I got a request, Don.
What's up?
The opening line from Candyman that Tony Todd says, in
Yeah.
honor of Kate not being here, Nick Cage.
Oh, Nick Cage's voice?
Yeah.
I don't remember it being in. I don't remember even him.
To this line. All right, fine. All right.
I don't even remember him being in it at all. I mean, seriously.
Hey, that's because he wasn't.
I figured he wasn't. And we were talking about Nicolas Cage on the show yesterday, too.
Yeah. All right, fine. I'll say the line. Nicolas Cage, fine. They say that I have shed innocent blood. What's blood for if not for saying?
Thank you, Don. Thank
Oh
you.
my God. What have I done?
You did not ruin it. You did not run it because I played it in Todd's voice.
Yeah. Oh, and also, there is just one thing I also just want to end it to, because Clyde Barker had once said this in an interview, and this is in regards to that famous B sequence. He said that, and he wasn't I don't think he was joking. I think he was being serious about it. But he said that his dentist assistant had often told him that if her kids didn't go to bed on time, she goes to the mirror. And she would actually repeat Candyman into the mirror. And she would never have to reach have to reach 5 times because her kids are always in bed and taught by then.
Wow.
Oh.
Well, they said nobody made it past 4.
Yeah, she never had, according to him, she never reached 5 times.
No. All right. So, yeah, that'll be it for this edition of the FearFans podcast. Be sure to tune in next week, and I got a little something that a lot of you will be excited about. We are going to be covering Halloween 3 Season of the Witch.
Yeah, that should be a lot.
3 more days till Halloween. 3 more days till Halloween.
Wait a minute, guys. Wait a minute. Hang on. That just reminds me I was gonna play it, but unfortunately it's still I'm a day over. I was gonna play 8 more days, but unfortunately it's 9 more days.
Play it anyway. Hey,
It's
play
8
it anyway.
days in Australia.
Yeah,
that is true. Hey, hold on, I had to turn off the earbud. You guys can hear it, right?
That movie was the hardest for me to watch.
Oh, I should have brought the masks.
Hey, no, wait. Save it for next week. Let it be a surprise.
Next week.
Yeah, it's that classic song though, definitely.
Yeah. I was confused by that movie when I first saw it when I was 10 on AMC. I was like, where's Michael Myers?
Yeah, that's what I was always waiting for. It's like, where the hell's Michael Myers?
Yeah.
And most people fail to realize that was
Halloween.
Yeah.
We'll talk more about it. I'm saying most people fail to realize that was the intention. They weren't supposed to have Michael in it. But we'll save that for next week.
Yeah, but we'll get more into that next week. Yes. So thank you guys for tuning in. Be sure to tune in next week as we cover Halloween 3 Season of the Witch. Till then, have a good night, everybody.
Good night.
Good night. Good night, ladies.
Are we still see? It takes a little while for it to sometimes end too.
Good night, ladies.
Is it loading right now?
Yeah.